introduce myself as East African. Our passport shows East African, Republic of Kenya. Everybody's got a light blue passport. The point is that if our political class has gone to the level of even giving you a same color identity of your passport color, the only difference being that you live in a different county, not country. If you start looking at every country as a county, like Kenya has 47 counties, I think a lot will change. We really need to change that paradigm. And a lot of it is to do with the private sector who's actually slowing down the integration as opposed to the public sector. The public sector is very clear. They want to run with it. They want to expand the family. With the ratification of Somalia yesterday, it tells you now we have 8 member states. We have 300 million people in the region. The economy, GDP for all the region is $310 billion. I mean, surely that's a huge enough market for anybody to thrive. I mean, India, China, they're doing so well because of sheer numbers.
The first thing that makes a trading bloc is having basic documentation like double-tax treaties. And we are a region that for the last, I think, 20 years can't even get a double-tax treaty ratified. Okay? And so the inter-Africa trade or inter-East African trade is hampered. But the key part is that we, more than an agriculture economy, we are now becoming a service economy. And that's the economy that is growing at about 15% in all the countries. But if you look at providing services across the region or partnering, it is becoming one of the most difficult challenges. And you know, if we are to work as a region, I think those will become the critical points in the alignment.
We've talked about customs connectivity, and I think the region has invested heavily. The region has invested heavily in customs connectivity, electronic cargo tracking. You did mention, of course, that we could harness and leverage opportunities working more collaboratively. And these are discussions that the customs and revenue agencies are having. For instance, they met at the start of this year and proposed that perhaps it would be beneficial to have intrusive scanning at the point of entry.
Some of the investment are getting out of the East Africa saying because of policy inconsistency. There is a lack of policy consistency. When you look at the tax,
is even from an Eabc, but also from a local Kenya perspective, and I'll touch on this, is the multi-layers of the policy and regulatory frameworks. If you look at some sectors like hospitality, we'll need like 25 plus licenses and permits to just operate within this environment. I think there's opportunities in that space. If you're a manufacturer, you'll have multiple regulators you'll have to work with. And this is only at certain layers at national. We're not even talking at the primary level of the county. So again, we in Kenya have more NTBs within Kenya than even within Eabc.
The issue of states of application, that is where we are failing as a region. Because states of application, much as we have, when we were revising the CET, we thought the CET would address the numerous states of application by each state. However, it seems not to be addressing that issue. And again, challenge the private sector, because the states of application come from the private sector and the governments just present them. So the respective manufacturers or importers are behind the status of application. What should we do differently? Do we need to review the CET again? And yet we thought the fourth ban was meant to help our manufacturers and the private sector such to consolidate their position against the imports. So again, the private sector, we challenge you on that. How do we really address the issue of status of application? The issues of developing regional value chains. I think we are committed that once we allow regional value chains to take root, the issues of NTBs will also be greatly addressed.